And welcome Michelle Deschenes of ACE Nutrition. I think this is a really fitting time, ladies, for us to sit down and really get real, raw, and vulnerable. Here we are in January of 2021. And for most of us, January sees us resolving, setting resolutions that, to be honest, we often don't fulfill. And weight loss is on the topic or on the table for many women. So I decided just to beat to the punch and pull in an expert. And the expert I have with me today is Michelle. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for inviting me.
Today, really what I want to do is have an honest and real conversation about something that none of us really like to talk about, and it's weight. And I find it really challenging myself to sit here and talk to you about that because I myself am on a weight loss journey. It's not a resolution. I haven't resolved to do away with anything or give up, but I have opted to incorporate a better healthy lifestyle and healthy living. And I think, Michelle, really that's what you are about, is healthy habits, healthy lifestyle, and healthy living. Can you tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that?
Yes, I agree, Sherry, is that the average person thinks about food almost 400 times a day.
Ooh.
It's hard to believe, but it's true, the average person. And it's really interesting when we can develop the skill set that we can optimize our nutrition, get down to the basics, and know what we need to do for breakfast, lunch, and supper to focus on our good health so that we can think about nutrition for a lifetime and take the fight out of food. That's what I really want to do. I want to end the dieting by giving people the skills that they need so that they can eat healthy for life without deprivation.
Take the fight out of food. Yeah. Now, ladies, I'm going to share a little truth bomb and a little secret with you. I've had the pleasure of being in Michelle's kitchen. There was a group of us on our way to a networking event, and we stopped by Michelle's home for a little cocktail, so to speak. And I will honestly say that I was curious as to what I would find going into a nutritionist's home. Would it be the typical fare that somebody else would put on? Would there actually be a drink, or is it going to be a sparkling water? What does Michelle serve when people show up at her home? And I was pleasantly surprised when she says that nothing is off the table. She actually means that. We showed up to a beautiful spread. There was cheese, there was crackers, there was some veggies, there was wine, there was all the goodness that you typically would have when you gather with some girlfriends. So I can tell you that when Michelle says there's no deprivation, and when Michelle says that everything fits into your nutrition plan, she doesn't just talk the talk, but she walks the walk. It was super exciting to be in her kitchen. Michelle, can you elaborate on that a little bit, on how we're so caught up on having to deprive ourselves that we really stop living and enjoying life in the moment, and we just don't need to do that.
That's so true, Sherry. I always say one of the best ways of thinking is that 80-20 rule. And that's what I live by, is 90% of the time I'm focused on good nutrition and food value. So what that means is not so much empty calories, but when I'm eating the food that I'm eating, I'm choosing food that's high in complex carbohydrates and vitamins and minerals. So I'm getting all that bang for my buck. And of course, the 80-20 rule means that once, maybe twice a week, you plan a small indulgence. So you always have to remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is the biggest thing. When people are making this is exactly what happens. We make these big goals, and then we start out with all this motivation and energy. By the end of January, everybody's given up. It's so true. And the reason I think that is because we're focused on big goals instead of smaller incremental goals. I know from my experience that setting goals, even weekly goals, say to yourself, what's one thing that I can do this week for my health? It may not even be related to food. It may be related to getting more sleep. It may be related to getting out and walking every day. But don't say, I'm going to walk every day. I'm going to walk for an hour and a half. Say, no, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to walk 15 minutes. When you start small, you're going to have better success. I really believe that.
I agree with you on that, is that we often see this big number in the sky. So for any of you women who are tuning in and you have those big lofty goals, let's say it's a 50, 60, 75 pound weight loss, we are in it to win it. We are all in. Everything goes out the window. There's no sweets, there's no carbs, there's nothing. We then buy into this really big fitness plan that we have to do. And if we're not on point every day, we beat ourselves up because we're super good at doing that. And by the end of the month, I agree with Michelle, we've ditched everything, all the little small wins, all the little gains, and we're sitting in front of something that soothes our soul. For me, that would be a cup of coffee and chocolate cake. And that might mean that I'm not stopping at just a slice, but now I'm wallowing in self-pity and I'm sitting in that world of hurt. And it just feels good to satisfy that need. And that's what Michelle doesn't want us to do anymore. See, I've been with you all. I've been on every fad diet that is out there. You mention it, I've probably been on it. I've yo-yo dieted, which has only meant that I have gone up and I have gone down and I have gone right back up again. When we have a solid nutrition plan with somebody in your corner who's cheering you on and who gives you accountability, think of the long-term results that that could give you. Think of the confidence that that would give you and the motivation to increase those small steps into bigger steps and bigger steps and bigger steps. And you don't only change your life and your being, but I believe you have the opportunity to change the lives of all of those that surround you. And that's really what Michelle does. So Michelle, I know that you also offer personal service, one-on-one coaching and accountability. What does that look like?
I believe the most important thing for people to have success is to have a one-on-one meeting, and I will be able to create a personalized, tailor-made nutrition plan. Because it's really not one size fits all. Until you get the history and you find out what people are doing, what their schedule looks like, when they exercise, if they don't exercise, if they're recuperating from an injury, if they have limitations, food allergies, tailor making the nutrition plan for individuals is the most important key for success to begin with. And if somebody has food cravings in the evening, don't have that all or nothing way of thinking. The best thing to do is to have a planned snack.
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I can also tell you that Michelle has a Facebook group. And if you dive into her Facebook group and follow along, she brings you in her kitchen on a regular basis, preparing meals in her kitchen, and not complex meals. They're really super easy. She also looks at the flyers that are at hand. So if there's something that's on sale this week at a local grocery store, she features that item. See, I know that proper nutrition, for most of us, we believe it comes with a really hefty price tag. And it doesn't have to be that. Michelle shops the flyers. She does shop in the fresh produce section. She does benefit from what's in our frozen section. And most importantly, she also encourages each and every one of us to shop local and to shop seasonally. So she's also looking after our best interest by putting us right into the farmer's market. So we're getting the best bang for our buck. Michelle, I'm hoping that most people will dive in and join you on your Facebook. Is it just Michelle Deschenes, or is it Ace Nutrition for your Facebook group?
The one called The Joy of Good Nutrition is a private Facebook group, and all you have to do is request to join. In Joy of Good Nutrition, I have a 15-minute cooking show. So that's a lot of fun, and it's featured right in my kitchen. And you can find that on Facebook. And the other thing on Facebook I do have is Ace Nutrition and Diet Consulting. So those are the two main Facebook groups I have. You won't find pictures of my cat. Well, mostly because I don't have a cat, but it's, I like to give people really good information that they can use and apply to their everyday life. And you're absolutely right. It's about real nutrition from real food. And don't be spending money on protein powders and protein bars. Try to get your nutrition from real food. That's when you're going to be the most successful.
And I know we're looking to get the biggest bang for our buck. So I know that Michelle does offer one-on-one nutrition. It is totally customizable for each and every one of us. But Michelle has also seen that there's a need for access, perhaps outside of office hours, that we do need to do some of this on our own terms. And we do need to wade in, perhaps slowly. Maybe you want to dive all in. And what Michelle has been doing in the background is she has been creating an online nutrition program. She is making nutrition available to everybody, to all of the masses. It comes with a community support group where she'll pop in and give some Q&A sessions with everybody. I'm so excited for you, Michelle, that you're launching something really needed, that's really relevant yesterday, to be honest with us. Can you tell me a little bit about that online course?
Yes, I'm so excited. I have created acenutrition.school. And this is where my online nutrition course is being hosted. I have to say that I've created all the course content, but I have hired a brilliant, brilliant professional that does education content. And it took weeks to find somebody in the community. It's challenging, but I found the perfect person. And the course is going to be hosted, like I said, at acenutrition.school. So you can look that up, www.acenutrition.school. And the first course that I've created right now is called Nutrition for Life. So it's divided up into 6 lessons. Each lesson takes about half an hour, and it will give you all the tools and a step-by-step process to help you achieve your goals for optimal nutrition so that you can get off the dieting bandwagon. And what I've also done is I've had an opportunity to ask people in the community, especially women like us, what our challenges are. And what I've heard from a lot of people is that we are struggling, especially going into menopause and through the ages and the different stages. Inflammation is really also a big topic, and digestive health is also. So on top of weight loss strategies, menu planning, meal planning, what good nutrition looks like. It's a really great course, and you will come away with all the tools you need. So I'm really excited about it.
That sounds absolutely amazing. And 6 lessons, half an hour each. If you're really ready to dive in, ladies, we could do this in a weekend. You could sit down over the weekend and go through those courses. And what I've learned from Michelle is that it's not a one and done. So we may dive in and go through all of the information over the weekend to start formulating a healthy plan, but we have access to that information for a year. So when we're in doubt or we need some reassurance, we can go back and check into whatever lesson that pertains to. Maybe I'm really not sure about the labels that I'm reading. Maybe I'll pop back to that lesson. Maybe I'm really struggling with creating that menu plan and the day-to-day nutrition that I need. I can pop back into that lesson. So that's the beauty. It's not one and done. It's support for the upcoming year to make sure that nutrition for life really is solidly placed in your home. I love that concept, Michelle, and congratulations on doing such hard work in the background to bring this to the public. So as I sit here and talk to Michelle about such a delicate topic that each and every one of us have experienced, whether it be in the childbirth years and we have that weight gain and we're still trying to lose that excess weight. I mean, I joke with Michelle on occasion. I say, I'm still just trying to lose my baby weight. My baby's 26. Soon time that I shed all of that excess. I have deprived myself and it's not been fun. It's not been a good journey. And at the end of it, I wind up beating myself up more than when I started. And that's not where Michelle wants us to be. See, Michelle is on a mission to end yo-yo dieting and fad dieting. We really need to say no more. It stops today. All foods fit. Are you a cheesecake lover? I can tell you that Michelle has the occasional slice of cheesecake. She has a glass of wine. She does not deprive herself from the enjoyment of life. We can benefit from shopping local. You can benefit from shopping on sale. She makes everything work really easy. And it's such a pleasure to watch her in her Facebook group in 15 minutes whip up amazing meals. Michelle, now that we're sitting in January, and I know many of the ladies who are watching this have set some lofty goals pertaining to weight loss, it's really not that the women don't know what to do. It really is about changing habits. And that's what you can help us do.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the fact is that often what we do is we focus on those goals. And in all honesty, if we thought about it in a different way, if we changed our thinking, and that's what the Craving Change is all about, is changing your thinking and your cognitive perception. Because when you change your thinking, you change the way you feel and you change your behavior. So this is really the most progressive and newest way of thinking about dieting, in all honesty. And we can think about this when we're setting our goals. So instead of saying, this is my goal, I want to lose 50 pounds, what we should say is, what are the steps that we can take to lose that weight? And think about it incrementally. And there's a reason why that's so important, is if we can break it down even week by week and say, this is my goal for this week, what happens is, it's really happening in our brain, is we have that dopamine is released. You know what it's like when you have on your journal during the day what you're going to have on your agenda? What am I going to accomplish today? And you have 4 things on your list and you're checking it off, right? How do you feel? You feel amazing because that dopamine is being released in your brain and it gives you that feel-good feeling, but it also encourages you. Your brain is encouraging you to remember that feel-good feeling, how you feel when you have success, when you're checking things off. So how do you feel? You feel great. How do you feel at the end of January when you've made these lofty goals and you haven't even made a step-by-step thinking of how am I going to accomplish that? You feel terrible. We already said you usually throw your hands up in the air and say, oh, I can't do this. And you give up, right? So if you say to yourself, it doesn't have to be perfect, because there's a lot of us that will give up if it's not 100% perfect. Make smaller goals, like we discussed, and have that feel-good feeling of success, then that encourages you to carry forward to the next week, to continue your journey. It's so motivating, and you have that positive self-talk. You're saying, I can do this, right? Instead of beating yourself up. Self-talk is so important.
Absolutely. And I fully endorse that it's not about perfection. That when you start the journey, not every day is going to be a great day. And there are going to be some setbacks, and we are going to slide back a little. But it's not about the one step back that you're taking, it's the 2 steps forward. And Michelle completely knows that it really isn't about the number. See, all of us who are on a weight loss journey have a different goal. And the beautiful thing with Michelle is that whether it's 10, 15, 20, 50, 75, or 100, she treats each of us in the same manner as a person who is showing up wanting better for themselves and better for their life. She's all about working with us to change habits. She doesn't focus just on the number and just on the weight. She really does focus on changing our habits, changing our thoughts, and really getting a good, strong core belief in ourselves. See, she's that cheerleader in your corner. Whether it be half a pound or a pound that you lost this week, she's cheering you on. That's what Michelle does. She lifts you up. If you're having a bad day and you need accountability, that's what a nutrition coach is here for. And that's what Michelle does. Michelle will be the first to say it's an emotional journey and it's a personal journey. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Michelle is here to walk with you step by step through that journey. Whether you need that in-person one-on-one custom-made program for you, she's your girl. Or if that's really not your thing, you've tried that before and you just want to wade into the waters, online nutrition course. You can do it at your kitchen table, but she still has a community created to answer your questions. So you're still getting support. Michelle, I'm so excited that you were the first one that we had come to the table in January so that we can debunk the myths of weight loss. We can put away the shame, we can put away the guilt, and we can kick judgment to the curb. If any of what you've heard today has resonated with you, please reach out to Michelle. I know that she's willing to have a conversation, and that's really where it all starts, just a conversation. Michelle, can you give us your website address?
Okay, you can reach me at acenutrition.ca.
acenutrition.ca, very easy. And Joy of Nutrition on Facebook if you're looking to enter into a private group and to be welcomed into her kitchen on a regular basis to have really easy, nutritious meals for you and your family. That's the place to be. Michelle, thank you again. Happy New Year and all the best to you in 2021. I do hope that the ladies take you up on your offer and let you guide them through their journey. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.